Welcome everyone to day 4, or actually to be more precise, the 4th Holy Night, the transitions between these beautiful days between Christmas and January 6th, where the spirit world opens up for us to allow us a more conscious journey in navigating these inner realms of ourselves and the macrocosmic, the cosmic realities. So it's wonderful to do this with you here live. I have been doing this as a tradition in transCODES here for many years, and in the past I talked about how we can use these 12 nights to tune into the next year, into each month of next year. Yeah, there's a connection here with each of these holy nights and the coming months of the year. This year I've decided to lead you into the deeper aspects of spiritual science with each of these nights, so that it becomes easier for you to connect with something, that you can perhaps find there in these different layers of yourself, but really the layers of cosmic or spiritual reality. So I'm taking you on a journey here every day. On the first night, the first holy night, we talked about recognizing ourselves as a spirit being, rather than a body that has some kind of soul attachment there somewhere. To see ourselves as a spirit being that has a body, in order to go through a certain experience, a physical experience of one's higher self. And on day 2, we talked about the other spirit beings that are participating in our journey, in our developmental, in our training course here as this lowest of all spiritual hierarchies, the youngest of all spirit beings, how to become a human, a conscious human. And we learned that there are guardian angels, that there are indeed angels that have dedicated themselves to guide us through this journey as sort of our true self, as a messenger, as beings that provide us with imagination, with a certain spiritual intuition. And we learned that there's an even higher sort of hierarchy of angels above those guardian angels and those angels, the archangels, which bring in sort of a collective understanding on the tribal level, the folk spirits. They bring in the contemplations about not just other spirit beings, but also our ancestors, also all of those who have walked on this path before us, and who will walk on this developmental, this soul journey after us. The folk spirits, and what the task is that comes with connecting with those beings that we can, or some of us, perhaps see in our dreams, or perhaps feel through what we would call maybe collective karma, family karma. We can see that there are connections with other people, even if they're not aware of it, going through similar processes as we are. And today we will learn about yet another hierarchy, another level of spiritual managers, so to speak, that act into our reality, into certain levels of our reality, and those we call the Archai. The Archai are the ones that actually influence our collective sort of development per period. So we're in a period of time, I mentioned this yesterday, where it is important for us to liberate ourselves from our preconceived ideas of materialism, our preconceived ideas of how we are supposed to be, how we are supposed to form our life, through our family and national traditions. And the Archai bring in sort of the zeitgeist, as we call it. The Archai are symbolized as zeitgeist. So when we talk about a zeitgeist, we're talking about a current collective tasking. What we are all supposed to work on here as human beings incarnated in the physical, as a conjoined collective of spiritual infant beings or child beings, learning how to master these different levels of reality. The physical, the feeling, the thinking, and the doing. And while the angels help us with the thinking, with the contextualizing of things that we experience, and the archangels help us with the feeling, the intuition about the spirit world, the Archai help us with our doing. They remind us of not just our tasking, which is for most of us, lost in translation here somewhere. We're all feeling sort of a lack of purpose, a lack of tasking. But if we tune into it, we can begin to feel a certain yearning for connection, a yearning for, I guess you would call it a higher path, to seek peace, to seek harmony, to seek interaction with the world in a more balanced and a more congruent and authentic way. To seek more truth, to seek more authenticity. And that is an impulse that comes to us through the Archai, be it through us feeling that we should refrain from certain activities, that we should maybe work on our anger management, that we should maybe abstain from certain addictions, or that we should, seek sort of the higher route. But it also comes to us as a deeper understanding of what we as a whole sort of human soul collective are in need of. And that is freedom. That is the freedom from all preconceived ideas, preconceived notions, and feelings and judgments. So if you are making an effort, if you see yourself as this sort of spiritual person, this spiritual archetype, here's the word archai built into the word archetype. If you see yourself as a spiritual person, then you are receiving impulses from the Archai that manage this level of your being in the micro as well in the macro. Yeah, to seek the higher route, to seek the freedom from all of the lower impulses, yeah, the animalistic and the material part in us, yeah, that keeps pulling us into our lower self. And you may have noticed I haven't even talked about ego, but ego is part of, this lower version of our higher self. Yeah, I often call this, when we incarnate, we get our ego for free, but we have to work, we have to earn our conscious self. We have to work for it. And that impulse is basically delivered to us through the Archai, via the archangels that help us to feel this, that help us to feel what it means to be a good human, to be a full human, authentic and congruent with what we feel as these inner impulses. And it's often difficult for us to bring this into action, to translate this. So everything that I talk about here can sound like a different language if you've never really contemplated about how this spirit world is composed, how it works. Yeah, when we grow up, and even if we don't go to church, but the way spirituality is conveyed to us is basically there's us, those lower beings, humans, and then there's this one higher instance, this one higher authority, God or the divine, depending on the spiritual traditions that we are born into. And we don't really make a lot of distinction between the levels in between. We just end up seeing ourselves as flawed and imperfect compared to, this sort of higher divine. And some of the organized religions, as you're very familiar with, you use this, for making us feel guilty, or making us do things, or instilling fear in us of this higher authority. The Archai, the zeitgeist of our time right now, is to liberate ourselves from these archaic ways of connecting with the divine. To learn that we are indeed a spirit being with a spiritual identity. We too are a higher being that is temporarily going through a physical, which is restricted due to its density, due to the perception that we form here when we incarnate, that only shows us a certain range of our being. To liberate ourselves from this and recognize that we have this higher self in us already. That just our senses and organs are still a little limited, just like when we are born into a baby body. We can't talk yet, we can't walk yet. It doesn't mean that we are lesser being. It just means that we haven't fully cultivated, that we haven't fully refined, that we haven't gone through all the developmental stages that are necessary for us to walk and talk and communicate and form relationships, form our own identity. This happens later in life, and so as we go through life in these different stages, our soul also goes through these different stages, and these different stages are signified or basically orchestrated by different levels of spiritual hierarchies. So on this journey here that I am accompanying you, I'm showing you these different hierarchies, these different spiritual management levels, okay, for you to better imagine, for you to better connect with this part in you. So how can we translate this? Yeah, and I will warn you, the higher we go in spiritual hierarchies, the harder it will be for you to feel the impact in your personal life. This doesn't mean that you can't imagine it. It doesn't mean that you can't connect with it. It will just be harder for you to see how it plays into your life. But the Archai, yeah, the angels, archangels and Archai are still beings that we can directly connect with. Those you can work with whenever you tune into collective energies, collective weather conditions, collective taskings and patterns that you can see and relate them to yourself. Now, when I report about collective weather conditions every month, when I do these energetic tune-ups, the next one is coming up on Sunday, where I guide people through the energies of these next 4 to 6 weeks, I am working with spirit beings of this spiritual hierarchy, with archives, that help me to see the tasking for each individual. And this has nothing to do with clairvoyance or predictions. All I'm doing is take their tasking and send their current energy field through it. This allows me to see and feel what it is that they need to focus on. And on your day-to-day level, other than obviously doing the obvious, spending time in contemplation, in silence with yourself, with nature, with animals, with the arts, you can connect with the Archai through your dreams. Yeah, your dreams are doing this for you. Yeah, this is where you dive into the spirit world without your ego. Yeah, so your physical and your etheric stays, sort of in a dormant state, and you dive into the spirit world and connect with these higher spirit beings. And this often happens without your ability to recollect. But you can do this. This is why we train meditation, contemplation, lucid dreaming, so that we can more consciously enter these spirit worlds while alive, with a larger perspective and experiences, and refining our spiritual senses and organs. We can begin to navigate these spirit worlds. And in the old days, this was preserved for just a handful of people, for very few people who went or dedicated their lives to this spiritual initiation process. Yeah, you know this as monks or initiates. Yeah, it was an initiation process that required a person to disconnect from all their 3D life's tasks so that they could enter the spirit world while alive. The zeitgeist of today's modern world is that we have become able to do this while we are alive. Granted, there's only a few of us who have already learned how to refine their spiritual organs, how to refine, how to work with their spiritual senses so that they can more consciously connect with those higher spirit beings, if you will, communicate with them. However, it is now possible for us via spiritual science, via conscious and systematic training, a combination of our inner experience with our intellect, to do this directly. And to connecting with the spirit world directly is what freedom means. The new archetype that we are representing here as spiritually interested or truth seekers or spiritual seekers is that of the independent spirit being that is able to connect with the spirit world directly. And I often call this gaining your spiritual ID. This is what we are doing when we connect with the spirit world directly. And every time we go to sleep, we do this already, but we're not doing this consciously. So as an inspiration for entering this fourth holy night, I want to ask you to do this a little more consciously. You can do this in a physical way. You can maybe remember some of the things that you aspire for, the values and virtues that you have. You can review your day. In reviewing your day, you are literally connecting with the Archai world, and make a conscious intention of what you want to do better, how you can better live up to your own virtues and your own values. And the trick with this is that you don't beat yourself up. Yeah, the trick is to liberate yourself from all this guilting and shaming that you have been experiencing in your life, through society, through the old zeitgeist, which was very much based on, conformism, following the crowd. We are now at a time where it's important for us to realize that we are no longer bound to this, that we, in our human spirit development, in our soul development, are capable of connecting with the spirit world directly. So in the alignment that you are able to use here, that is following this little inspiration that is called initiation, I have summarized for you the tasking that we are all feeling through the impulses of this current zeitgeist. In media they call this collective awakening. All right, but really what it means is for us to recognize that we are already embodying, or that we're at least on our journey to embody this independent, this free human. The ability to recognize our inner light. I talked about this on the first of the Holy Nights. That was brought to us about 2,000 years ago with the appearance of the Christ that was brought to all of humans. Is what signifies our zeitgeist right now. So the energy coding in this alignment initiation allows us to tune into the importance of our incarnation here right now, and allows us not just to make more sense and to feel our purpose better, but also to recognize how important it was for us, for our soul development, to come and incarnate into this time right now. To stop bickering about how bad everything is and to recognize why we are here. It reminds us of our higher self's intention to face the exact energetic conditions for which we have the capacity to resolve and to transmute into a higher developmental stage. One that we've initiated through ourselves. One that we can own ourselves. One that we are actively working on. That we are earning ourselves through. Refining, purifying, and forming our own spiritual ID, our own consciousness soul. And how do we do this? How does this happen in our daily practical life? Through cultivating our conscious spirit self. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how this can be used, how we can utilize this awareness to co-create, to manifest, to form our own life, to form our own future. Today, I want you to go home with a higher awareness of what actually happens when you go to sleep, when you review your day, when you go in and be truthful with yourself and form higher intentions consciously. Yes, some of you might want to put this under your pillow. Yes, some of you might just connect with the spirit world, knowing that there are beings that are working with you while you're sleeping. Without fear, without guilt, without shame. Just understanding that this is where you're at right now, and this is what you're working on right now. This is the sacred work that you are here to fulfill, the promise that you've made to your higher self and the divine. Enjoy this energy alignment initiation if you're watching this video, and I see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. And stay conscious and enjoy your dreaming. Initiation. To love, truth, and peace within me, I dedicate myself. I am ready to be one with my true self, the part in me that is unchanging, eternal, and infinite. I embrace change as the evolutionary path of my being and trust in my true self to guide me to unfold my highest expression and purpose in life. By being aware of the conscious soul self I am, I choose to follow the impulse for freedom and deep healing so that I can neutralize all external influences that do not serve my highest good. I can feel and sense that I have all I need to be my higher self in me already. Yes, I am ready.
this awareness, I can accept all limitations as learning experiences, no matter how big the challenge, and feel nothing but gratitude for any opportunity to heal and express my soul purpose. I am willing to embrace my responsibility as co-creator of my reality, past, present, and future. All is perfect the way it is. For me to fully feel this, I choose to let go of believing I need something from the outside to fully express my authentic self. I choose to let go of the illusions of lack, or that I am not enough, conscious or unconscious, and all dependencies that are holding me back from feeling the right to be myself. I can do this. I dedicate my energy only to what clears and heals me, and what reminds me of my true being, while being open for new perspectives and solutions that are in alignment with my purpose, even if my mind doesn't know what this is yet. I am aware of the importance of making this a conscious choice, as I understand that only I have the authority to choose who I want to experience this life as. Yes, I am ready. Through the power in my heart, I herewith clear all attachments, limitations, conditioning, mind control, energetic ties and karmic binds in any dimension or time to any person, entity, or ego illusion. Nothing and no one has the right to violate my integrity or authenticity. I trust in my ability to sense anything or anyone compromising my trust in my true self, including choices in my past that did not yet express my highest potential. From here on, I devote my energy only to conscious choices, recognizing the higher power expressing through me, now and at all times. I love the freedom of who I am. I love the truth of who I am. I love who I am. True self. Thank you once more for my energetic sensitivity that shows me when I need to stand my ground and when I need to let go. for my critical thinking and insight, for it shows me when I need to self-correct and when I need to shift, for the love and compassion in my heart as it reminds me of the sacredness of my reignited light, expressing as the courage and motivation to do what is needed to finally be a free me. Now, I can rest in my heart, as all there is left to do is to live and create my life in the light of love and truth. Thank you.